Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 530. Please turn to it, page 530. And today is our lesson number 39. Let's see what we have there. Lesson number 39 on page 530. Question number 15 is what we're going to do. These are the last 4 grade-end questions. There are 10 grade-end questions beginning with number 9, 10 on the first page, and then 11, 12, 13 and 14 on the second page, and then 15, 16, 17 and 18. This is how they are distributed. Think of this as the easy questions on the first page, then the medium, then the hard ones. So these are not quite straightforward ones. Let's take a look at it. Number 15. We are given a diagram, which I'm going to have to erase right away because I need the room for the diagram. We are given a diagram which looks something like this. Here's the point O, and then we have A, B, C, D, E, and F. I believe I have enough. A, B, C, D, E, and F. Voila. We are told that this is Y degree. We are told that this is X degree. This is point O. So far so good. So far so good. And of course how I actually draw the picture is completely irrelevant because the picture is not drawn to scale. In the picture above, 6 segments intersect at point O, as you can see there. OD bisects angle AOF. OD bisects, this is what they're talking about. This bisects the top half and the bottom half. OC bisects AOE. OC bisects AOE, alright. And OB bisects AOD. So I'm going to start with the lowest one first because it's easier to build your way up instead of starting from the top and trying to figure out how things should work out, how pieces should fit. It's always a good idea to start from the bottom up and then go from there. So the last sentence tells us, well, it's not a last sentence, but the last part of the sentence tells us that OB bisects AOD. So first thing first, we are told that X is equal to 40 degrees. In the problem, it tells you that X is equal to 40 degrees. We are told that Y is equal to 30 degrees. Then they go on to tell us, so this is the first statement we're going to use. OB bisects angle AOD. AOD. Let's give these two angles names so we can talk about them. Let's call this angle A and let's call this angle B. Since OB, O to B is right here, OB. And bisects means it cuts in half. So angle AOD that they're talking about is AOD, this right here. Which means that this angle A plus B must equal 40. Because OB cuts it into half. So this tells us that A plus B must equal 40. That's our first equation. Equation number 1. Then they go on to tell us in the second statement, and of course, as I always remind you when I'm solving the problem, I go at a very leisurely pace and I take my time and I write down everything and so forth. This is not what you will replicate in a real exam, obviously. Okay, you have to analyze everything, but at the same time you have to have the decent speed. OC, where is OC? Right here. OC, we are told, OC bisects AOE. AOE, way up there. So let's call this angle C. So AOC and OC we're talking about this part right here. I'm gonna make it darker so you can see it. OC bisects AOE, which means B plus C must equal A plus 40. This tells us that B plus C, this angle right here, B plus C must equal A plus 40. A plus X, which is 40. A plus x or 40. That's our second equation. As I told you before, this is not a straightforward problem. This requires some thinking. Finally, they give us the biggest one, for which I left no room at all. I hate doing it when way down there, because that's our payoff, and I left no room for it. We are told that OD bisects angle AOF. AOF is this entire thing, and OD is this part right here. OD is this part right here, which means C plus Y. This implies that C plus Y equals this angle C plus Y equals this guy B, A, and 40. A, B, and 40. That's it. Those are the three equations that we have. Let's call this equation number 2. Equation number 3 rather. Or not yet. We have to simplify it so that it doesn't look so messy. We know what y is. Y is equal to 30. So C plus 30 equals A plus B plus 40. And if we subtract 30 from both sides, we find that this is the third one. C plus 30. And we know that A plus B is 40. So I'm going to substitute this A plus B equals 40. We're going to substitute equation 1 into this guy. So this becomes 40 plus 40. You see, A plus B is 40. Which tells us that C plus 30 equals 80. This implies that C plus 30 equals 80. I don't know if you can read that low. I'm going to pick up from here. This part right here. C plus 30 equals 80, which implies that C must be 50. What exactly are they asking? What is the measure of angle BOE? Let's find BOE. I'm going to put it in a different color because that's our punchline. BOE. Oh, there you go. Right here. BOE. Well, the BOE, angle BOE, I changed my mind. I don't want to use up the room here. I need the room. And you already got this thing. A plus B is 40. That's how we get 40 plus 40, which is 80. So I'm going to erase this part too. They're looking for angle BOE. Angle BOE, which is simply A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C, which equals A plus B plus C. We know A plus B is 40 from equation 1. So let's put that in here. And we just found C. From this equation we found out that C was 50. So let's put that in here. That's it. We are done. Answer is 90. Angle BOE is apparently a right angle. That was a fun one, wasn't it? This wasn't a difficult one, but it requires concentration. Make sure you pay attention to what is being said and just follow the directions, that's all. Let's do the next one, number 16. Number 16, I'll give you a chance, as I always tell you, to absorb it while I absorb my tea. Number 16. Let's see what they have in number 16. We are given a series of numbers. Let's see what this. All positive integer appear in the sequence above. Alright, so the sequence that we see there apparently encompasses all positive integers starting from 1 and ending with infinity forever and ever. Amen. All positive integers appears in the sequence above, and each positive integer k in the sequence appears k time. Well, that's an interesting one. Each positive integer k appears k times. What they're trying to tell you is that If the positive integer happens to be 5, then what they're telling you is that 5 appears 5 times, and 100 would appear 100 times, and 2 would appear 2 times, as we can clearly see in the sequence. The sequence looks something like this. Therefore 1 appears 1 time, 1, 2 appears twice, 3 appears 3 times, 4 appears 4 times, and so on and so forth. So now we understand what the series is like. Well, let's see what exactly they're looking for. In the sequence, each term after the first term, alright, each term, you have to read very carefully. Each term after the first term, you see I got my pointer ready already. Each term after the first term is greater than or equal to each term before it. Obviously, each term after the first term is either greater than or equal to the term before it. For example, this term right here, the third term, which is a 2 happens to be equal to the preceding term. But this 2, the very first 2, happens to be less than 2 happens to be more than the previous term, because the preceding term is 1. So each term after the first term is either greater than or equal to the term preceding it. That's all. But it cannot be less than, obviously. What the hell are they asking? Each term after the first term is greater than or equal to each term, equal to each of the terms before it. Alright? Each of the terms, all the terms. If the integer 12 appears in the sequence for the nth time, if the integer 12 first appears, that's very important, the word first, is very important. If the integer 12 first appears in the sequence as the nth term, what is the value of the nth? In other words, what they're trying to ask you here in a very roundabout way is how soon before we see 12 in the sequence, and at what number, at what point, what's going to be the term, what term is going to be the very first time that we see 12 appearing in this sequence. Well, let's find out, shall we? Let's find out. It can't be that bad, can it? Couldn't possibly be that bad. I need the room, so let's start from the top. Let's start from the top. So we have to find out how long before 12th appears for the very first time. You see? So 1 of course appears 1 time, 2 appears 2 times, 3 appears 3 times, and 4 appears 4 times. In other words, what this tells us is that 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. It tells us that the 10th term is the last 4 we will see. That's what this tells us. The 10th term is going to be the last 4, because there are 4 4s. The first 4 is going to appear at the 7th term. You see, 1, 2, that's 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. The 7th term is going to be the first 4, then the 8th term is going to be a 4, the 9th term is going to be a 4, and the 4th 4 is going to appear as the 10th term. Alright. We have to go all the way up till we see 12 appearing for the very first time. So these are the 10 terms so far. Okay, these are the number of terms. And this shows you how many times a given number appears. How many times a given number appears. For example, what this is trying to tell you is that 1 appears once, 2 appears twice, 3 appears 3 times, 4 appears 4 times. Alright, so far so good. And then 5 will appear 5 times, 6 will appear 6 times, 7 will appear 7 times, and 8 will appear 8 times. Question is, what is the term number where we will see 8 for the very last time? Well, let's find out, shall we? Don't try to add them up. Don't try to add up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That will be too annoying. So 5 is simply 4 plus 1, 6 is simply 4 plus 2, 7 is simply 4 plus 3, and 8 is simply 4 plus 4. We already know the sum of 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 10. So this term is going to be 10, which is the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and then we have 4, 4. 10 plus 16 or 26. So what term number is where we're going to see 8 for the very last time? Don't say 26th term. No, not 26th term. We have 10 terms up there. 1 through 4 we have 10 terms, and these are 26 more terms. 36th term is where we're going to see 8 for the very last time. We're going to have 8 8s. 37th term is the very first time we're going to see 9. Now, had they been asking when will 9 appear for the very last time, we would have been done this point. The answer would have been 37. They're not asking for 9, they're looking for 12. So let's go one more round. So we have 9, after 8 comes 9, 10, and 11. We're going to stop here because we want to look at the first time the 12 appears. We're going to have 9 9s, 10 10s, 11 11s. Let's add them all up. Again, 9 can be written as 4 plus 5. It can be written as, why am I doing 4 plus 5? We are doing 1, 2, 3, 4 thing. It can be written as 1 plus 8. It can be written as 2 plus 8. It can be written as 3 plus 8. You see, just like we did before, except instead of adding 4 each time, here we're going to add 8 each time. So the sum of these three numbers is going to be 1, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, plus we have 3 8s. 1, 2, 3. 3 times 8, which is 24. 24 plus 6 is 30. Voila. Let's add them all up. These were 10. I'm going to bring this 10 out here. So we can add them all up. 10 plus 26 plus 30. 10 plus 26 plus 30. When we add them all up, we get 6. We get 6 here, and we get 6 here. What does it tell us? It tells us the 66th term, listen carefully, this tells us the 66th term is when we're going to see our 11th 11. You want me to write it down someplace? Just let me write it down someplace here. This tells us that 66th term is where we will see our 11th 11. There are 11 11s, and the last 11 is going to be the 66th term. They're not asking for the 11. They're not asking when will we see the last 11. They didn't ask that. They're asking us when will we see our first 12 in the sequence. Well, answer is 67th term, obviously. 66 is the last 11 we're going to see. The answer is 67. 67th term is the first 12 in the sequence. That's it. Answer is 67. Listen, I'm not going to do the other two problems on the page because these are difficult problems, and therefore I don't like to rush through them. I like to make sure that we do a thorough job and we understand it properly, and therefore I prefer to do them two at a time. Tomorrow, which is the day number 40, which makes sense because, as I explained to you already several times in the past, I've been doing each math section in 5 clips. There are 3 math sections in each exam. Therefore, it takes me 15 videos to make one exam, to get through one exam. Tomorrow is going to be day number 40, which means we'll be done with the second section of the third exam tomorrow. 5 more days and we'll be done with the third exam, and so on and so forth. The goal actually is to go through the entire 10 exams in the book, and since it takes me 15 videos to make one exam, altogether you're going to see 150 videos. Do you understand? We're just going to keep on going, and gradually we'll get to our destination. I will see you tomorrow, okay? I hope you're getting something out of it. Okay? Bye now.